Hey everybody,
Hey, what's up, everybody? Owen Finch, and I'm here with.
AJ Talent, and this is our right after season 4 review. It's our review of Red versus Blue Out of Mind miniseries.
Yep, this is probably gonna be our shortest video ever. We'll say that now, and we'll be here for like an hour. So
I know, right? God. But the miniseries is only like 10, 15 minutes total, so
yeah,
you don't have a whole lot to go over.
um, but yeah, this episode, or this miniseries, I should say, um, there's a lot of releases, so I'll just go through it real quick. The market release in between June 16th, 2006, until October 2nd, 2006. The website release is between the dates of August 1st, 2006, and September 2nd, 2006. But go and go on um, the wiki. Just Google Red versus Blue Out of Mind, and this will be like the first source that will pop up, and you'll know what I'm talking about. So let's talk about this miniseries. I thought it was fun to watch. It was kind of cool. Like it shows that like other things are happening like alongside the seasons. I kind of like that.
Yeah, I think it was really cool how like season 4 had Tex like chase after Wyoming, and then instead of like in the season, we find out what happens like like our own like little story.
Yeah, so I thought
Like
that
it's
was kind of
narrated by text, and you thought that was really cool, like a Sherlock Holmes type of thing.
yeah. So
Sherlock Holmes type of thing. Sorry,
yeah.
English.
Um so she breaks into the base, and we find out pretty much that Wyoming like kind of is like the leader towards like the Reds and the Blues like having like this Xbox Live match and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Um
pretty much.
and she kills all of them. And like I said, since this is being
Oh,
narrated
I
by
like how like because Wyoming has like a British accent, like all of them have like British accents or like
yeah,
really bad like Australian accents.
that was quite funny. Um so then Tex is about to break into the room that Wyoming's in, but realizes that this is going to be a trap, and Wyoming drives a jeep like right into her. And we find out that Tex is doing all of this, so that way like she can get to the O'Malley.
Yeah, because like from season 2 we know that like Wyoming got hired by Omega, so she's like, all right, well if I capture Wyoming, Wyoming can tell me where Omega is.
Yeah. So he drives off, and then that was all episode one. All
Yeah,
of this
these
is
are all
gonna be
like very short.
Yeah, all of this is going to be chronological because we can't talk about like Pote 3 without talking about certain Potes. Um, so Pote 2. Why don't you say what happens in Pote 2?
Part 2 is like a flashback from several years ago. We find out about more about Project Freelancer and about. By the way, I haven't like spoiled anything for him. For Project Freelancer, I just said like there's some flashback stuff like later on in the show, but I haven't said anything. Anyone worried about spoilers?
Yeah,
Um, but we just find out about. We see a flashback of Church and Tex talking back at their old base, and
yeah,
how Church was talking about how like they're implanting AIs into like the like better soldiers, and how Church kind of like sucked, so he didn't really get one.
yeah,
Because Wyoming like says like, oh, the real soldiers have work to do. Why don't you go back to the shooting range?
yeah. And this show is really good because it showed like Wyoming. We find out, you know, um, that basically the AIs, all they wanted to delete all of them, but some of the ones that they went to delete were too hard to delete, so they had to take out the person themselves.
Yeah.
Um,
And Tex didn't like that, so she basically broke out of the base with Omega.
yeah, and also too, we find out that Wyoming had an AI in him as well, and that one broke out, and it causes you to like go crazy. So what I really liked is Wyoming, even though he was an asshole, he wasn't like an evil person.
Yeah,
But
or at least that's not like how we took it.
yeah, but because of this, it like really messed him up. The AI stuff breaking out of his head. Because I think anyone would go crazy if a computer like broke out of your head. Like,
Yeah, right. That I feel like that would mess you up a little bit.
yeah, um,
Uh, but yeah, and then what was I gonna say? So yeah, Tex is like, all right, I'm gonna need some help to get to Wyoming.
yeah. So
Uh, Part
So
3.
yeah, part 3.
We
Tex,
see some guy trying to break into a store to like rob it.
yeah, and Tex holds him at gunpoint, and he acts like he lost his key, so he goes like acting like he's going for his key, but he really just goes for his gun. And Tex is like, "Yeah, you're a terrible liar," and we find out that this is York. What was his real name again? Like
They don't say his real name.
Okay.
Everyone just calls him York because it's short for New York, the state.
Yeah. And we find out like basically because of that name, we find out like he was working with Tex, in the on that project and stuff as well. So
Yeah, because they're all named after states. So basically, York takes her back to his house, or where he's been staying, and to like discuss what's going on. Tex says that she wants to get to Omega and kill him. But in order to do that, she needs to get to Wyoming first. And York has a grudge against Wyoming.
yeah,
Apparently, in the past, Wyoming did something that made York lose one of his eyes.
yeah. So he agrees to it, and that was basically part 3.
Yeah. Although it's really cool that we find out Wyoming's real name is Reginald in this episode.
Yeah, so that was cool because they mentioned like how he made like lame jokes and stuff like that. So, and then
also his AI is named Gamma. We haven't met Gamma yet, but I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Find out his name. So like, and York also has an AI named Delta.
Yeah.
So they're all named after like the Greek alphabet, like Omega, Delta, Gamma.
And we've known O'Malley to be like this ruthless, evil person, and I like how in this miniseries it showed that not all the AIs were that way. Like Delta was actually like, very statistical, and smart, and actually like cares about people and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's not an asshole. He's a friendly
guy.
So episode 4 is pretty simple. It's just them breaking into the base. Nothing really happens.
Yeah. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny, yeah, when York is like breaking into the base, and it was like instead of a holographic lock, then like a traditional lock. So he's like bringing it up. He's like, "You didn't tell me it was a holographic lock." And Tech's like, "Well, why? Can you not break into it?" He's like, "No, it's just gonna be harder, but I just wanted to prove how much of how much of a smartass I was that I can do all this stuff." So I just thought that was quite funny.
And then Delta starts asking York about why they're doing this, because it doesn't matter if they kill Wyoming, because his eye's still broken.
Yeah, and he said
York says it's like for revenge, and Delta like, oh, okay, I didn't really understand a stupid human concept. My bad. York's like, oh well, thank you for lowering yourself to my level, dude.
Yep, it was pretty good. Part 4 really nothing happened, but it was pretty comical. So
yeah.
And then
I guess that's like one, not really a flaw. It's just like it's kind of interesting that like Red vs. Blue for the most part is like a comedy, and this is like isn't really like a comical thing.
Yeah. And then part 5, they and then
Hey, it's not me for once. Usually I'm the one who gets interrupted.
Yeah. Then part 5 is they break into the place and they have like a big shootout with like people that are just there that are working with Wyoming, and everyone's
kind of cool to see that like these guys don't actually suck, because like we're used to the Reds and Blues, and they like they're the heroes, but they kind of suck at being soldiers.
Yeah, these guys are like actual like professionals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And York gets up getting taken out due to the fire. So
well, Texas is in front of them, and her gun jams, and then she like dodges out of the way, and then York is right behind her, so he ends up taking the shot.
Yeah. Delta pops up and like reveals like basically like he's not gonna make it, so he chooses to stay with York
to give him like pain meds, so he's not like in pain when he dies.
Yeah, and Tex reveals like that if York dies, then he's just gonna get deleted.
Yeah, so, Delta's like okay with that. So it kind of shows it's nice that like Delta really cares about York.
Yeah. Then Delta though makes a basically a holographic show pretending to be York, and Wyoming shoots at him, but then since it's a holographic, nothing he just goes right through him, and Wyoming realizes this, but it's too late. Tex pops up and holds him at gunpoint, and then Delta gets deleted, and Tex forces Wyoming to tell her where the O'Malley is, and Wyoming says that he actually doesn't know where it is, but he says that
it's not here right now, and then that he's actually back in Blood Gulch, which we know from the season 4 ending.
Yeah.
This is a few days after season 4 ends.
And we find out basically just Tex finds out that it popped into somebody else, but Wyoming won't admit who it is. So Tex says, "I'll just beat the shit out of you until you tell me who's inside." And he's like, "Well, I could just tell you." And then Tex says, "Nah, I want to do it my way." And then we see
and then it ends.
I thought the ending was good.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, because it's I like the miniseries. I think it really does a good job of possibly setting up what season 5 is going to be. So I thought that was quite good, and I liked.
I think it was really cool to see Tex get the spotlight, because each season kind of it tends to all right, you're the main character now. Now you're the main character, and now you're the main character.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool that Tex got her time to be the main character, quote unquote.
Yeah. I think it's kind of cool too. I always liked Tex before, but I really liked Tex after watching this too. Even more. It was pretty cool.
We get to find out more about Project Freelancer and all the stuff in the past.
Yeah, that was nice. And now we wonder I liked how they left with a cliffhanger, us wondering now who O'Malley's going to be inside now, because we don't know. But I don't know. So, but yeah, I like how I did that. So, I give this a B-. I thought this was a good miniseries.
Yeah, I give it a B-. It's very short. It's very. It's still funny, but it's not as comical as Red vs. Blue normally is.
Yeah. So.
Kind of sucks. York just kind of shows up and then dies.
Yeah, that sucked. And then we don't. Hopefully, this isn't the end of Wyoming, because it would kind of suck if Wyoming died in a miniseries than the actual show itself.
Yeah,
But, yeah. So that's pretty much it. We did this in less than 15 minutes. So that's nice.
No, that's a record for us. Wait, how much time is it, Ben?
So right now it's at 13 minutes. So let's.
Wow, so it's still longer than the actual miniseries, though.
Yeah. Well, we had a lot to talk about. So.
Yeah. So anyway, that is it, guys. Anything you want to plug?
On the Talkinator, we're gonna do a video on there tomorrow. We don't know what it's gonna be on yet. And Western Fortune 44 for Video 2000. AJ makes an appearance in part 2. So there you go. I'm gonna link it into this video in the description. I'm gonna plug that until Video 3000. So. And then
how much work that was, I don't blame you.
Yeah, and then this channel, obviously, because we're coming on to 400th video soon, so we want to make sure you guys tune into that. We don't know what we're doing yet. Not a tribute video, not doing that, but that's pretty much it, guys. I know it was the plugs, but I wanted to try to keep this less than 15 minutes, and we did it, so let's hit stop.